Welcome back everybody to Property Couple. My name is AK.
I'm Lia.
And this is our channel where we talk property, business and working together as a couple. Today we are off to Grimsby. Again, we're off to Grimsby, aren't we? Why are we off to Grimsby?
So the last time we went up there was Easter Sunday, and we did a project update walk around video, which you guys will have seen recently. And then now it's the 4th of June. So it's actually less than a month towards our wedding, and this project's due to finish almost exactly when our wedding is. So we just want to go there, get an update, film a walk around for you guys, see the status, meet up with a potential agent up there as well. And we've got a few other jobs we need to do.
Yeah, I think there's been some massive changes, so I'm actually really looking forward to showing you guys. Like Leah said, we've got some other jobs to do, so I think we're going to go and look at some paints, some paint colours. You know the saying, it's as boring as watching paint dry? Well, there should be a saying, it's as boring as choosing paint. I think that should be a new saying. Leah also said we're obviously going to meet an agent as well, so we'll hopefully introduce you to her if she is happy being on camera. And we have got our number one fan sat in the back as well. Here he is.
Hello everybody.
He's
It's a National Fish and Chip Day as well. We can have some English fish and chips by the sea.
English fish and chips by the sea. Amazing. Love him.
The last time we came up to Grimsby and we drove to Cleethorpes for fish and chips, we all fell asleep pretty much on the way home, apart from you, Arch, because you were driving. We were so lethargic on the way home. I was like, we're never getting fish and chips up there again. The portions are massive as well. So yeah, I'm going to say no to fish and chip today.
Can I also just say, I had fish and chips yesterday as well. So I can't do fish and chips twice on the bounce. I had fish and chips on Thursday night and I had fish and chips on Saturday night. So if I had fish and chips twice in the last 3 days, I can't do it three in the last 4 days.
You have a scamby.
Okay, so we have arrived at the property and we are going to show you around, but we're not going to go round the property because at the moment there's just materials everywhere. It's basically a building site. We actually have one of the builders on site at the moment now. He's stripping wallpaper, so we just don't really want to get in his way. So
what we're going to do is just ask him to step outside. We're going to do a quick walkthrough of the property, holding the camera, and we're going to talk about it in voiceover just to make this whole thing easier, because there's a lot going on in there at the moment.
Nice. Meanwhile, I think I might just go and sit down at the new couch that we've acquired in the garden.
Come on, have a look
We've
at this.
acquired a new sofa, a new garden sofa.
Best thing is this beautiful tree, what is this?
I don't know, but it's really blossomed.
It's blossomed. Worst thing is that we've somehow acquired this sort of, someone's fly tipped basically, and we've now got this couch.
So I'm just going to take a seat.
No. I'll take the couch over a squatter any day, but still, it's just another thing, isn't it? That getting this garden into shape is going to be a big thing that we need to look at. Once the inside's finished, we'll then start looking at the outside, because when we go for our revaluation and the valuer comes out, the curbside appeal and the look of the outside is going to make a big impact on the valuation we get for the property. So this will all need to be tidied up, and we will have to allow a little bit of extra budget for that.
Cool.
Okay guys, let's show you inside, and we're going to do a walk and talk with you, and we'll bring you back here in a moment.
Okay, so we are at the front of the property now, and you can see the original front door. We're actually going to keep this because there's nothing wrong with it. It's actually a really good quality front door. As we enter the property, the first thing you'll notice is these new steps that we've created, taking us up to the new level that will be here on the ground floor. On the left hand side, you'll see the new kitchen. And the biggest thing that we've changed with this particular room is we've increased the size of it. So you'll notice there that there's some red steelworks. Now what we've done is we've actually knocked that wall through to create the extra space for the things like the ovens and some units and things like that. We've needed to create a bigger space, and so by removing that wall, it's allowed us to do this. However, we've had to ensure that we are structurally sound, which is why you'll see a lot of steelwork there. Now, not only is that in the floor, it actually carries throughout the building onto the first floor and also into the loft as well. You'll notice on the plans that here we're using an FD60. That's actually a fire door that essentially will last for an hour. So the reason we've done this is because the kitchen is the most likely place a fire may start in an HMO, and so that's the reason for that. The other doors on the bedrooms will be FD30s, which are still compliant doors, but that's just a little side note there for you. As we enter room 1, you'll just see myself there. Hello everybody. And Lia's dad there in the corner as well. I love this room because it has a huge bay window, lets so much light in. We've created a new door here. You'll notice that there's a little structural beam there at the top. We've blocked up the old door because that's where we are going to be putting the ensuite in this particular room. As we come out of the room and we turn left, you'll notice the huge drop back down to the original height of the property. I mean, it's absolutely huge. Leah there just kind of walking down those steps, you'll just notice, just really demonstrates just how big a jump that is. I mean, you know, this is what it takes to get us through the planning on this particular project. It's just a real shame really that, you know, walking through the rest of this property, we're unable to really do anything with it due to planning. You'll notice the sort of original kitchen here on the left hand side will just pretty much just remain closed up. The same with the room. As we go down this corridor, we go into the bedroom there, that will just sort of remain unused. The bottom room here was a laundry originally in the care home. We're actually going to keep it exactly the same. We're actually going to use it for washing machines and dryers and space for people to hang their clothing. Because we used a lot of investment money from private investors on this particular project, we were keen to just get going as soon as possible. Once we're up and running and we have this property rented out, the plan was then to relook at applying again or reapplying for usage to the rear of this property, allowing us to create at least another bedroom, potentially 2 bedrooms, to take us up to the original plan, which was going to be 10. Obviously this takes a big hit on the profit and the cash flow on this particular deal, but like I said, we really needed to just get going, and we will look at this once we have completed the project. You can see here that we have blocked up the stairs. This was another staircase in the property, but the stairs were firstly far too steep, and also we're just trying to tidy up the property and they just weren't needed, so we've closed those up. As we walk back through the property, you'll notice just how high this new flooring really is, because you can see the top of the banister there just poking through. So this really just demonstrates just how high we've had to make this in order to pass through the planning. Onto the upstairs now. This is bedroom 2. You'll notice this is a double bedroom. So on the plans you'll see there's space there for a double bed, a desk and also a wardrobe. And there's a decent size ensuite here, and this backs onto bedroom 3. Bedroom 3 is a much larger room. You'll notice it actually has 2 big windows, so there's a lot more light coming in here. This also has an ensuite. There'll also be a desk and a wardrobe here. I actually really like this room. It's one of my favourite rooms. I just think it's a great shape, great space, and very light. Stepping into what will be bedroom 4, you'll notice that we've blocked up that door that was there over in the corner. That was actually the red fire escape, which is currently actually still there, but we've blocked this up now just to allow, well, more room really in this particular bedroom. There's also a large window letting a lot of light in. This is going to be a decent sized double bedroom. Surprise, surprise, yep, you guessed it. It also has an ensuite in the corner that backs onto bedroom 3. This property just feels a bit like a sort of a higgledy-piggledy TARDIS a little bit, you know, up, down, stairs, corridors. It's actually got a bit of a charm to it. Now the smallest bedroom in this particular property is going to be bedroom 5 that you now see on your screen. This is going to have a single bed backed up against what was that stained glass window, if you remember. Still going to be a decent enough size room. Now you might be thinking, who would want a single room? Well, there's plenty of people that actually maybe only require a room Monday to Friday. They're at work most of the time. They actually just want a sort of a cheaper alternative where, you know, they can get their head down at night and they don't need to pay the rate that you would for a double room, whereby they're not even there half the time. I'm not even going to mention the ensuite in here because you've guessed it, there is one pretty much in every single room. In what will be bedroom 6, we were able to actually retain the existing windows here, so that's great from a cost perspective in terms of the refurbishment. This is going to be a double bedroom, definitely a lot of good space in here, good light through the window there, and all in all, a nice space. Interestingly, bedroom 6 is ensuite. We've actually blocked up, again, another entrance or another exit to the old fire escape, which has allowed us to create the space for that ensuite there. In what will be bedroom 7, what we tried to do here was retain as many of the radiators and things like that we could. Throughout the upstairs flooring, what we're actually doing is using an acoustic insulation layer that is going to sort of dampen any noise of people sort of walking through the house and that sort of thing. Now, you don't have to do this, but we've chosen to do it because ultimately we want people to be happier living here. And, you know, HMOs, especially this one, has 8 different people living in it. You know, it could potentially get pretty noisy if there's people sort of walking around and stuff. Probably my favourite bedroom out of the entire property, bedroom 8. We were actually able to retain the huge window in bedroom 8 as well. Another double bedroom at the back of the property. This is probably going to be the quietest bedroom of the house because it overlooks the gardens and there's no roads nearby. Please excuse the mess. Obviously, we're currently refurbishing this property. You'll notice some materials and some tile cutters just piled up there. We've also started tiling a lot of the en-suites upstairs as well, so a lot of that work is going on. But yeah, really excited to obviously show you the finished article. The garden is still really messy. We've obviously acquired a new couch, you'll see it there, and also just general sort of bin bags and stuff because the neighbours actually very kindly started helping us remove some of that sort of roughage and some of the bushes and overgrown greenery there as well. If you're wondering what a lot of that purple sort of boarding is, it's actually fireproof boarding, and it's something you actually have to have from a regulations perspective with any HMO. I'm not sure why, but I was so fascinated with just how much steel work has gone into this property from a structural perspective. So you'll see there in the loft that the steel work goes all the way through from the ground floor all the way through to the loft. And we've just had to be a little bit flexible with this project because initially, to get the planning, we had to raise the floors, but we were only able to raise a certain amount of this property to an acceptable level, which meant we actually lost 2 of the rooms that we originally had planned to keep in this property. So because we've had to then hire a structural engineer to come out and ensure that we've done everything correctly, that we've got sign off, this has actually delayed the project by probably 4 to 5 additional weeks as well. This is concrete, right? So there's steel work that goes across here, yeah, up there and up there to basically support the wall because the wall was here, right? We've knocked the wall down to extend the kitchen because this is where a lot of like appliances and stuff are going, right? So we needed to extend the kitchen out, but we needed all this steel reinforcement. It's huge, honestly, mental. Look, that's the original flooring there, right?
This is where it is now. I think what's most crazy is seeing the old top of the stair banister. So this is like the stairs. Obviously, the stair banister used to finish way down there. This is what makes it feel like on stilts, basically.
You can almost touch that arch now, which I hope we've got some original footage of when we used to just walk through it.
Maybe these stairs that we're adding, stairs up here along this little corridor, stairs down there, maybe this can add flavour and personality to the property, but it's got a long way to go still, hasn't it? Okay guys, that's been our walk around. We hope you've enjoyed watching this video. We hope you can see that there has been quite a lot of progress since the last time we visited around Easter time.
The next time you see this project is probably going to be finished, so exciting times.
Exciting times ahead. Don't forget to like, subscribe. If you haven't already subscribed to our channel, just click the subscribe button. It takes a second and it really helps us out. And we'll see you in the next video. Bye.
Okay, so we're going to leave the property now and we are on our way to B&Q to look at paints.
I actually quite like picking out paint because we've got a little system that we do, which I'm going to tell you about at B&Q. This is how I hack the system and get expensive paint for not very expensive prices.
That's cool.
So let's go B&Q. It's only a couple of minutes drive from here.
Right, we're at our local B&Q now. That took all about 2 seconds.
Literally round the corner, wasn't it?
So handy. It's so good to live near. So what I'm looking at now is the most expensive paint, Farrow and Ball. We're gonna take inspiration from Farrow and Ball and we're gonna find out using like a colour code capture website and the exact like code of the colour, and then we're gonna try and mix it up using Johnson's is a good paint and we've used those before, so they've come out really accurately. In our last property we actually did a green smoke with like this colour in our olivey coloured room, and we're going to do something similar up here in Grimsby. These shades, one of them is called Pale Powder and one of them is called Copperhead.
There's Pale Powder.
There's Pale Powder. Actually, now that I see it in store, I don't really like it. I think we should go a little bit more green.
Really?
Yeah, I think it's too light.
On the camera it looks white.
Yeah.
But it's not, it's actually really green, it's really strange.
We've also tried to do a little copy of Dick's Blue before in our last project, which came out really nice. We've done that and we've done like an olive room, card room green. We've used that on our mood boards before as well. I've chosen that.
Side note, I want to meet the person that names the paints because mole's breath, mouse's back, like the back of a mouse. A dead salmon maybe. Eating room red. What does that mean? What's an eating room? Well, I suppose a dining room really.
We can't find Johnston's paint, which is annoying because that's the brand I usually go for. I don't want to use Dulux because that's too expensive as well. So we're now just having a little look for something more reasonable. Right, there's an offer on at the minute, $340 on Dulux. I know I said Dulux is expensive. The other thing about Dulux is that they can't do the colour mixing here. You have to go to like a Dulux specific shop for them to mix up a special colour in Dulux. So we'd only be able to get stuff off the shelf for Dulux if we want that offer. So yeah, we've just been weighing up all the options. We might leave with a colour sample, but we do think that we're kind of set on those two shades for the bedrooms. We're not going crazy this year. We're not doing like every room's got a different colour and different accessories. It's just with the way this project's going, we just need simplicity now to finish it. So for the hallways and entrance hallways, communal areas, kitchen, we're going to need something really durable, something that can be wipeable, scrubbable, because obviously with 8 people living there, there's going to be a lot of wear and tear. There's going to be scuff marks, there's going to be suitcases and bags coming in and out and people moving in. So with that, I definitely think it's worth spending a little bit more on a really durable, good quality paint. It's the same with anything, isn't it? It's like you get what you pay for. So if you're going to spend loads, you might get way better quality and it might last longer. With the nature of HMOs, houses with multiple occupancy, it's normal to go and like do touch-ups in between tenants or sort of every year when you refresh the property anyway. So it's just about finding the balance, I think, for us. Now I'm just singing, this is called Tranquil Dawn, excuse the hilarious name. How different is this to that very light Farrow & Ball? Let's go have a little look. We like pale powder. That's not far off pale powder. That could be a decent copy paste. I know it's not as light as that one. And then in terms of the grey, that's called Cannonball. Cannonball and Tranquil Dawn currently on 3 for 2. That's Hop Ahead and that's pale powder.
It's really hard to see on the screen.
I'm going to put on screen now, either side of my head, the Farrow & Ball shades that we're looking at and then these 2 Dulux shades. And if I can, I'll research the price difference on a 5 litre because that will really give you an idea of how much of a saving that would be if we went for a bit of a copy and paste there. So because it's quite a long journey up here, and then by the time we get around the house, by the time we do any jobs, it's now like nearly 2 o'clock. So we're going to come to Miller and Carter, have some food here. This is not that far from the property at all. And then we'll either go back to the property for some more photos and project stills so we can just put them online on Instagram and stuff, or we will head straight back home.
But first we eat.
But first we eat.
We need to fill the tank.
You need to fill the tank.